there are people around this region and around the country and all across the world who are engaging in many diverse intervention tactics right now as we speak. Any resistance movement starts with community organizing. Here we see a bunch of different critters are gathered together to have a meeting. They are looking at a watershed map to see how they're all connected by the land that they live on. They're sharing their culture through song. They're also learning from their elders surrounded by this library. They're mapping out. They're making these power maps, figuring out, being very strategic, figuring out how they can build power from the grassroots up and move their campaign forward step by step by step. This bat with its big ears is reminding us all how important it is to listen to one another. And of course, the empty chair is an invitation reminding us all that there's always room for more to join in. I've seen really impressive community organizing happening all across the Great Lakes, especially what's happening up around the Pinocchio Hills. Folks are getting together, they are having meetings on the regular, people are getting together weekly in different groups, attacking this issue from all different angles, figuring out how they can each play to their individual strengths and skills and combine forces to get a lot of work done, even with small numbers of people. The next step in any campaign is media and education. Here we have this thing we call the People's Media Machine. These bees are riding in on this machine that's shooting out posters, they're screen printing, maybe making t-shirts and stuff, they're on social media, and they even have a pirate radio station up top there. They're telling them, they're spreading the word about all the stuff you don't see on the nightly news. They're telling the perspectives of people on the ground. There's actually there's an amazing educational group based in Ashland called the Pinocchio Hills Education Center that I was really impressed by. These folks are doing such a good job of making maps, making pamphlets, making all sorts of literature, and holding speaking tours and educational events, and really doing a good job of educating people around that area and all around the state about what's happening there. And they're building huge amounts of support through that. Here we see a scene of a bunch of critters who are gathered together for a protest. They're making signs, they're signing petitions. We actually met a group in central Illinois called Stand Up to Coal, who were organizing in their small town. They got hundreds of people to sign petitions, and they held regular protests at their town government meetings. And through protest and a petition alone, they were able to stop a proposed coal mine from coming in. Once and for all, actually. They've been doing this for 10 years, and they finally got it to be canceled outright. So it takes a lot of dedication. But, a lot of people, a massive number of people raising their voices and speaking out is a very powerful thing. But sometimes that protest and petition isn't enough, and people have to escalate their tactics to do some more aggressive resistance. This millipede is doing what people call paper wrenching. It's combing through the fine print of these permits and regulations. It's turning all of this paperwork into paper airplanes. And with its many arms, it's pitching one paper airplane after another, as many as it possibly can. And at least one of them is landing here. This hearing request is gumming up the gears of this new proposed power plant. Sometimes hearing requests and public, judicial hearings and public hearings can stop things like coal-fired power plants. I know that's happened in Wisconsin in recent years. We spoke to some folks in Michigan who were really happy to celebrate how they had stopped a coal plant from coming into their community. But oftentimes all it does is slow the process down. The folks who are trying to put that power plant in, they got way more money and way more lawyers than we ever will. So sometimes all it does is slow it down, but slowing it down is crucial because it buys time for these critters to get together, to organize their community, to do some nonviolent civil disobedience, to lock down, to blockade the road, to make a really bold and brave statement, saying, we don't want this project in our community. And we're prepared to lay our lives on the line, to risk going to jail, to say very strongly that we will not put up with this. There's actually a really cool group in Michigan called the MyCats, Michigan Coalition Against Tar Sands, that have been doing some really badass civil disobedience stuff over the last year. They've been blockading primarily Enbridge tar sands pipelines that are coming through various places in Michigan, and they've been drawing a lot of attention to this stuff that companies like Enbridge, they try to keep it secret. You know, they try to build this stuff up before anyone knows about it. And of course, I'm sure you all have been hearing about all the many protests and civil disobedience actions that have happened around the Keystone XL pipeline and other stuff like that. Sometimes folks have to take it beyond that even, especially in indigenous communities where people have tried protests and petitions, they've tried civil disobedience, they've tried speaking with state and national governments. They don't have enough allies, they don't have enough access